Okay, now we're going to walk through the compensation report. You will find the compensation report under our BWC website, again by hovering over resources and clicking on church conference forms. Please read all of the instructions carefully. The compensation report is completed using Excel, and there are two forms, one for a single church and one for multi-point charges. You use the single church compensation report if your church is on its own. You should use the multi-point charge if your church is on a charge with other churches and share a pastor or pastors. If you have a pastor who is appointed to two different charges, you can complete either report. If you decide to complete the multi-point charge form to get all the benefit information, please be in conversation with the other church or churches. And for our example, I'm going to walk you through a multi-point charge compensation report so I can show you how to do the breakdown at the end. The single church is very similar. At the top of the page, you will put your pastor's name, email, phone, and church phone. You will also need to add the charge name, district, and your church number and name or names. It is important to add a short name to the multi-point charge compensation report. You will see it is carried over at the end. Let us know who submitted the report in case we have any questions. In worksheet 1, we will be looking at the salary paid to the pastor. First, we will enter the pastor's cash salary to be paid in the upcoming year. Church A will pay $20,000 and Church B will pay $32,650. The total will auto-calculate on the right. For self-employment tax, only add an amount if the church contributes towards the pastor's self-employment tax in addition to the base salary. Other compensation, does the church pay other compensation to the pastor? If the church will be receiving equitable compensation support in 2026, you will add that amount to line 4. And if you're receiving other support, will the church receive support from the conference districts or the districts in 2026? This does not include equitable compensation, nor does it include amount paid for pension or medical benefits. In our example, we will only going to use the cash salary, and we're going to move on to worksheet 2. In worksheet 2, we will look at health and benefits. This section should only be completed if the church is paying health or pension on behalf of the pastor. If these amounts come out of the pastor's paycheck as a payroll deduction or are paid directly to the conference, then they do not belong on the compensation report. The options in this section are after-tax UMPIP or Roth, pre-tax UMPIP, flexible spending account contribution, and Health Flex premiums, which is the conference's health insurance. So let's stop here for one moment. If your pastor has health insurance through the conference, then your church will be billed $12,600 in 2026. This amount does not belong on the report. Only add an amount to this line if the church is covering the pastor's portion of medical and it is not being taken out of their paycheck as a payroll deduction or paid directly to the conference. Most mistakes in this report are made on this line. Again, it is important that you do not include the $12,600 billed to the church. The last item in this section is other insurance premiums. Are you covering the pastor's portion of their health insurance, disability, life insurance, etc.? If so, please add it, but again, if it is coming out of their pay as a payroll deduction, please leave it out. Worksheet 3 is housing. Does the pastor live in a parsonage? In this example, we're going to say no. If you do say yes, then the system will complete the parsonage calculation for you, and you will move on to worksheet 4. If the pastor does not have a parsonage, then you will select no and add housing amounts. In our example, Church 1 pays $10,000, while Church 2 pays $13,151, which equals $23,151. $23,151 is the minimum housing for a full-time pastor. Next, you will see a summary showing the pastor's salary and housing. If this amount looks wrong, Please go to the top of the page and look at worksheet 1 before moving on. If worksheet 1 looks fine, look at worksheet 2 and 3. As we keep moving, you will add the pastor's reimbursement amount for 2026. The minimum for a full-time pastor is $5,269. We will show that Church 1 is paying $2,269 and Church 2 is paying $3,000. Okay, worksheet 5 is very important because this is how the pastor's pension and health will be calculated. Pastor's compensation relationship. Is your pastor a full elder, a local pastor, a provisional member, a deacon, etc.? If you do not know this answer, please ask the pastor before completing the report. In our example, we will use local pastor. Next, is your pastor full-time, three-quarter time, half-time, or quarter-time? Please select their appointment status. You will see if we select quarter time that the pastor is not eligible to receive pension or medical through the conference. If we change this pastor to full time, then you will see that they are required to receive Compass, CPP, and health insurance. Once these selections are made, you will move on to section 6, worksheet 6, using the information in the box above. Select if your pastor will be participating in benefits and health. In our example, our full-time local pastor is required to participate in all, so we will select yes. Next, you will see a box showing the church's complete financial obligation. In the single church compensation report, you will be done with this spreadsheet. In the multi-point compensation report, you have one more step. You need to add how much each church will pay towards the health and benefits of the pastor. Christine will add the numbers for us. You will see that on the left, the Health Flex sum of all church contributions has changed below in red to yes in green. This means that you have correctly distributed the amount between the churches. We will do the same with benefits. You will now see the church's financial obligation for the pastor at the bottom of the page, along with the percentage that each church pays. You can see how everything's turning from red to green, showing that the numbers are incorrect. They are correct. Just to note, if you see FT below FT base in red on the left on line 45, then we need to go back to worksheet 1 to see the total that we put in. $52,692 is the minimum for a full-time pastor. We will change the number for Church A. We will actually keep it the same at $20,000, and Church B will now pay $32,692. The total now meets the minimum. If you go back to worksheet 6, you will see the notice has disappeared. Please check your benefits and make sure the numbers are distributed correctly, because they may change. There you go. Okay, now I will quickly show you the ARENA report for this form. Once you're in ARENA, you're going to scroll down to the Clergy Compensation Report section, which is only visible to the church and the SVRC chair. Click Start or Edit if you have already started the report. Input the information that is found on the last page of the compensation report, which is worksheet 6. Once you have added the information, you will upload the full compensation report to ARENA, all 5 pages. Select Complete or In Progress and submit. You are now done with the compensation report. Just a reminder that all forms, including compensation, need to be signed at your church conference. As we wrap up, just a reminder that every report needs to be completed in ARENA by October 1st. You should not mail anything to your district office.